Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a science fiction drama film, Contact. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Ellie lost her mother when she was very young, and her father took care of her. From childhood, Ellie has been intrigued by astronomy and radio signals. It is her wish to communicate with an alien civilization. Unfortunately, her father died of illness when she was only 9 years old. The priest told Ellie it was God's will, and she just had to accept it. But Ellie thought otherwise. She blamed herself for placing the rescue medicine out of her father's reach. This incident alone proves that Ellie believes in science, not God. Years later, Dr. Ellie is tasked with search for extraterrestrial intelligence program at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, due to policy changes, her project is terminated before making any progress. She intends to continue extraterrestrial intelligence project at the Very Large Array, but the huge budget turns down many investors. Only one tycoon agrees to pump in money. Tycoon is particularly mysterious, and he does not meet Ellie in person. He only communicates with her through the surveillance system. Despite his obscure identity, Ellie is really grateful for his help. In the following 4 years, Ellie has shifted the research work to the Very Large Array, but she does not receive any meaningful signals. The futile research has upset the team members, and Ellie is no exception. A few years back, Ellie fell in love with a man named Joss. Contrary to Ellie's belief, Joss has pursued his master's degree in theology, and he works for charity projects. Despite their vast difference, the two fell in love at first sight. However, as Ellie encounters setbacks in her career, she cuts off contact with Joss. One night, Ellie hears abnormal noises from her headset. Excited, she summons the whole team to investigate the signal. They confirm that it is sent from Vega, which is located 26 light-years away from the Earth. Deciphering the signal, they get a series of numbers. Though clueless, they make announcements about the discovery. The next day, various delegations from government agencies stream into the station to investigate the situation. Ellie shares her thoughts. Aliens choose to send them numbers because numbers are a universal language. She supposes these numbers do not bear any meanings, but rather, they are like message alerts to inform us that a new message is arriving. As soon as she finishes her words, the office is swept under chaos. The aliens send them a second message. This time around it is an image. Connected to the TV, they see a strange swastika. Zooming out, it unfolds the speech of Adolf Hitler. Scientists well-versed in German language confirms it as the speech given at the 1936 Berlin Summer Olympic Games opening ceremony. Shocked, civil servants immediately know they have to escalate the matter to the president. However, through further research, Ellie assures the paranoid politicians that the message has no political implications. She explains that the 1936 Olympic broadcast was the first television signal sent into space. It takes several decades to reach Vega, and another several decades to send back to Earth. Most likely, this message indicates that they have well received the broadcast. Ellie concludes that aliens have no ill intention. Soon after, Ellie's teammates report new progress. The original video only has 25 frames per second, but the one sent from Vega has 50 frames per second. The extra part is extracted out and found to be containing more than 63,000 pages of data. Such a huge volume suggests that it must contain valuable information. However, it is encrypted, and no one is able to decipher it. Overnight, the news about aliens sending signals to the Earth has gone viral and hence brought great changes. Hitler's fans roam on the street for celebration. The number of Christians is growing. However, heated debates spark off between scientists and theologians. His workplace, Very Large Array, has been crowded by visitors. Most of the people are here to join in the fun. They take this chance to go on a spree. Among them, there is a cult spreading the nonsense message. Ellie has mixed emotions watching them. She realizes the urgency to decode the alien data. When Ellie finishes her day without making any breakthroughs, she receives a mysterious message from Tycoon. An appointment is scheduled at midnight in Tycoon's private jet. This is the first time Ellie to meet Tycoon in person. He tells her that many enemies are preying on his life, and now he is dying soon. Before his life comes to an end, he wishes to do something great for the world. To cut it short, he has extracted the alien data from Ellie's lab and sorts out a solution. The data appears to be flat, but Vega civilization adopts a multidimensional perspective. So they have to merge the existing data into a 3D model. That way, Ellie infers that it contains technical blueprints. Apparently, Vega aliens want to teach mankind how to build a gigantic machine, but their purpose remains unknown. The government leader cannot decide whether to proceed with the construction. Ellie begins another round of persuasion. While dealing with the politicians, she finds someone very familiar among the panelists. He is no other than her ex-boyfriend Joss. It happens that Joss becomes a priest and maintains a close relationship with the president. Though Ellie remains an atheist, the couple patch back. Vega's third message comes in during one of their dates, a man in a frame. Combining that with the previous messages, they understand the aliens want them to build a transport, according to the blueprint, and send one occupant to Vega. The president decides to go ahead with the plan. Scholars are chosen to study alien technology. 10 candidates are shortlisted for the trip. Among them, only one person has the chance. Ellie stands in competition, and Joss sits in the panel. Privately, Joss discourages Ellie from taking the trip. The machine would allow her to travel at the speed of light. According to the theory of relativity, by the time she flies to Vega and comes back, she will be 4 years older, and the Earth will have passed by more than 50 years. Until then, her peers would have all died. How lonely she would be. More importantly, this mission is way too risky. Ellie is clear of such a consequence, but she is determined to go for her dream and the good of all mankind. Noting that she is even willing to die for this mission, Joss gives up on changing her mind. A few days later, the 10 candidates are interviewed by national representatives, and the whole process is broadcast live to the world. Ellie is most popular as the discoverer of the Vega signal. Unexpectedly, Joss poses a detrimental question, asking if she believes in God. Ellie upholds her composure and carefully replies to him that as a scientist, she sees great importance in evidence. So far, there is no evidence to prove or disprove God's existence. Although she tries to beat about the bush, the interviewers do not let go easily. They want a definite answer. Finally, one of them voices that an atheist cannot represent the 95% population, who are believers. Needless to say, Ellie fails the interview. The seat is given to another gray-haired scientist, who packages himself as a devout believer. Ellie questions Joss why he hinders her. Joss says that he cannot bear to have a non-believer going up to the space. Later, he admits that he is worried for Ellie, and tries to prevent her from getting any form of harm. Sometime later, the space machine is finally built. Thousands and thousands of people have gathered to witness the launch. Based on the instruction, the seat will plunge from the top to the bottom, and go into a swing. It does not reveal what would take place after the rotation. The gray-haired scientist is leading the last simulation before the actual event. At this point in time, Ellie spots the cult leader infiltrated into the machine with bombs. Gray-haired scientist immediately deploys manpower to take him down. However, the cult leader detonates the explosives and destroys the whole machine. In the end, gray-haired scientists and many more staffs have died in the explosion. Ellie returns home with a heavy heart, but a Russian message changes the course of her day. It is a video call from 2 Russian astronauts. Behind them, Tycoon stays in the spaceship. It turns out that Tycoon is cancer-stricken, and could only sustain his life in a low oxygen and low gravity environment. That is why he has paid the Russian government for a vacancy in the Russian space station. She has shown another machine in Japan. Tycoon has bought the Japanese construction company, and he can appoint the astronaut to go into space. He wants Ellie to go. To avoid any hindrance, they have tightened up security measures and forbidden the public from watching. Ellie fastens her seatbelt and gets ready to go. During the warm-up, the cockpit trembled violently, and a strange light appeared. Ellie attempts to communicate with the Mission Control Center, but to no avail. Then, the cockpit is cleared for launch. She repeats it dozens of times, until Center Ground finally hears it once. At the launch, the auxiliary frame is first released, and 2 booster rockets are fired, spinning the ring at high speed. The light is too strong to see with naked eyes. When it is counted down to 10, the light becomes the brightest. It releases a huge amount of energy, which almost capsizes the command ship. 10 seconds later, Ellie's cabin plunges into the wheel. Even though reception with the Mission Control Center is cut off, she continues to do a video recording of the unprecedented journey. Ellie feels as if she is falling into a swirl, and moving forward through a tunnel at an immense speed. What awaits at the end of the tunnel is a star with traces of civilization. Ellie realizes that the tunnel is no other than a wormhole. Before Ellie could settle down, she enters another wormhole. The series of wormholes are lined up like some advanced subway tunnels. Apparently, they have been used as transportation channels in the universe. As soon as the cabin comes to a halt, Ellie arrives at a quad galaxy. Over here, the stars shine brightly, indicating the presence of an alien civilization. Immediately after, Ellie is taken to another wormhole. This time around, it shakes even more violently than before. Ellie's seat flies to the top, and she can float up. As she looks out of the window, she is mesmerized by the breathtaking scenery. It is so beautiful that words cannot tell. Ellie wishes that she is a poet, so that she can express her wonder with human languages. In a flash, she finds herself standing on a beach. Stars shine brightly above her. Even though they seem so close, she cannot touch them with her hands. From a distance, someone is moving towards her. Ellie is very nervous at first, but as the man comes closer, she recognizes him to be her father. Filled with surprise and joy, Ellie throws herself into his arms. She cannot believe it is happening. Soon after, Ellie gains back her senses and concludes that it must be a hallucination. She must faint in her own cabin on her way to Vega. Vega civilization retrieves her brain data and creates such a hallucination. The reason why the alien appears to her in the form of her father is to make the first contact easier for her. In fact, this speech contains the fond memory of her childhood with her father. Surprisingly, the alien acknowledges her analysis. Ellie asks him many questions that she has about alien civilizations. She is curious who builds the wormhole, a transportation gateway in the universe. The alien tells her he does not know either. It was already here before the Vega civilization began. Most likely, they are the legacy of an older civilization. Ellie also wonders if the Vega star would invite all other civilizations to visit them. The alien answers that they only invite human beings, for they are very lonely beings trapped on Earth. The alien holds her hand and shares that human beings should unite together to overcome the vain and meaningless lives. Ellie checks with him if other people could come to Vega for a trip. The alien replies that this meetup is only the first contact. The second session will take place in the future. He emphasizes that she must be patient about it. At last, he gives her a goodbye kiss, just like what her father would do. Ellie has many questions unanswered, but she is awakened by very powerful lights. Her cabin drops into the water, leading to chaos in the mission control center. She hears the staff checking with her if she has any injuries. Ellie is confused about what time it is on Earth now. The mission control center informs her that the launch has failed, and her cabin drops to the bottom. Ellie does not believe in what they say, and tries to prove her experience with the video. However, the video consists of nothing more than invalid content and noises. The mission control team plays their own observation video to testify that Ellie just plunges to the bottom. The whole journey only takes 1 second. Ellie reasons that based on the theory of relativity, 1 second on Earth is equal to 18 hours she spent in the universe. More importantly, she has made the first contact with the Vega civilization within 18 hours. During the debate, the panelists assert that the 18 hours are merely Ellie's hallucination, and she cannot prove the existence of the Vega alien. And then, they question the authenticity of the radio signal. It could be a fake signal. Ellie denies such a claim, explaining that it requires interdisciplinary expertise to encode such a signal, and a satellite to send such a signal. She rules out the possibility that someone on Earth could fulfill these criteria. However, the official does not buy her smelly words. He mentions that it is very possible for a rich and knowledgeable man to create such a scam. Ellie is reminded of Tycoon, who has the ability to do so. He may want to make a mark in history, or he may actually want to benefit society. That is why he created Vega's signal trick, to unite humanity around a common goal. The official stresses that Ellie is deceived by Tycoon's perfect plan, and experiences self-reinforcing paranoia during the fall. Ellie feels powerless before such an accusation, but she has no evidence. Needless to say, the official's view is widely recognized. At last, Ellie softens down, saying that if she were the official, she would not believe in it either. In fact, even Ellie herself is not sure what is going on, but she persists that her cosmic journey is real, and she hopes that everyone could have a chance to experience it. Still, no one trusts Ellie. Joss hugs a depressed Ellie. Out of the meeting hall, many citizens gather to support Ellie. A journalist asks for Joss' view on this matter. Joss says that even though they subscribe to different beliefs, they all seek the truth. He trusts in Ellie's account. Encouraged by Joss, Ellie continues to search for alien signals, and inspires the younger generation to study astronomy. At the end of the movie, the official discovers that Ellie's video recording is an 18-hour blank, which is consistent with her account of the 18-hour journey. This implies that Ellie's journey should be real. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.